Good afternoon. It's 2 o'clock. It's the UK. I'm Tony Tickle, and I'm going to show you a technique that I use for air layering. Now, air layering is amazing because what it means is you can take a branch on a tree that is not part of the overall design, air layer it, and then you have another tree. So I'm going to show you two trees. I'm actually only going to work on one. This is a hawthorn which I air layered in, I think it was early April this year. We're now in the beginning of September, so it's had about 3, maybe 4 months, and I've checked it every few days to make sure that it's kept nice and moist. You can see here it is wrapped in black plastic. The reason it's in black plastic is A, to keep the air layer in the dark so that the roots will form, but also when we do get sun, that it will warm up the air layer and encourage roots to growth. So if we have a look at this hawthorn, very, very nice indeed. It's a little bit crazy, and what I've decided to do was, in my opinion, the tree is really here. This is really going to be the tree. It'll be a nice, very good, small chew-in size, and the air layer here will make a very good clump style. You should only really air layer trees that are very, very strong, healthy and well fed, and as you can see, this is 1 year's growth. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some of this back to make it easier for me to remove the air layer, but I'm going to show you the blackthorn here, which is another one that's air layering. I am going to remove this one today, but the blackthorn, it does take a little longer, so I'm going to leave that on for another growing season. But let me show you the blackthorn. This is a tree with, as you can see, fantastic movement, but I've decided that this branch, after a lot of consultation, we would air layer this. Now, despite the fact that you can see lots of greenery on here and very little greenery here, this branch is absolutely fine and is actually displaying little buds at the end here, which will be flowers. So this has lost a lot of its leaf, but it is still really quite healthy, which means it is getting nutrient from that air layer, but not so much. So by that I know that there's not that much root taking place in here, and certainly when I've removed the black plastic, you can't see any roots that are appearing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get straight onto the hawthorn now. I'll move this out of the way and give you one last look. You can see some fantastic movement in this tree, and it will make a really nice single trunked beautiful flowering prunus. Let me move him out of the way and we'll get on with the hawthorn. Here we go. So let's take a look. Let's take a look inside, see what we've got. What I've got is here is a thin wire that's just holding everything in place. Take that wire off. I have checked this beforehand, so I do know that there are roots in here. You can also, simply by the health of the tree, you can see that there are, very little difference in the foliage. This has continued to grow throughout the whole season. What I am going to do is I am actually going to cut off these, or shorten these long ones, just to make life a little easier for myself. Because hawthorns, by their nature, are not very forgiving. Boy, do they hurt when you get a thorn in your finger, and it can stay there for days if you don't take it out, and it can go septic, which is not a nice thing. So what I've done here is I'm just shortening these just for convenience. The other thing, of course, with hawthorns is it's fantastic material for cut and grow. I use a combination of wiring when it's the new growth, and then put a little bit of movement into the branch in the early stages, and then cut back. That's why they make really good hedges. The more you cut a hawthorn, the better it is. We're getting a better view there. So here we go. Let's take that black plastic off and take a look. So you'll see, once I've removed the black plastic, there is actually a clear plastic. And the reason for that is that we can see and look through and see if there are any roots. This was prepared, as I say, in April. A complete ring bark was taken off and cut well into the trunk, because these can arch across if you're not careful. I will gently remove this, but first what I'm going to do in actual fact is push it up slightly. I can see there are roots here. You can see a very fine white root just there. You can see them. What I need to do is I need to saw this air layer off. I'm just pushing it out the way. I'm being very gentle with those roots because they are quite brittle. I have to bear in mind, of course, the tree that I'm leaving behind, because really that's the primary tree. The air layer is a benefit. So there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to saw across here and detach the air layer. I've got a very good saw here from Korea. It's very sharp. Let's do that cut from here. Now I don't have an assistant, nor do I have a cameraman, so if you are asking questions, I'm terribly sorry I can't answer them, but I will answer them at the end of the video. If you want to put them on my timeline, I will answer your questions there. Okay. Be very careful here not to damage those roots. Now this tree has been in this pot for 4 years, so it's nice and firm. It is wired in. It would be nice to have an assistant to be able to hold this back for me. I'm just going to take the plastic off here because I believe that the root ball is quite tight in there. You can see there's some fleshy roots here. I'm going to get another saw. I've actually got a longer saw which a friend of mine from Australia gave me. Here it is, a bit bigger. Let's go for that. And you can see here, there are the roots, nice red tip to the end there. I'm going to go back in here. Be very careful with those roots. Okay, almost there. So there we go. You can see that's quite a thick trunk. And there's the parent tree. I'll do some work here. But as you can see, this is going to make a very nice, small hawthorn with good taper and good movement. So I'm quite happy with that. I'm very happy with this. I'll come closer, you can see all of the nice roots which are in here. Now what I will not disturb this sphagnum moss ball. I'll keep it exactly as it is. I'll just put that to one side gently. Move this to the back. And the most important thing with an air layer is that when you've removed it, when you put it into your new pot, which is one I've got here with very good drainage, you have stability. This thing mustn't move. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to wire this from underneath. Come on 2 of those branches I can see. There we go. I'm using copper wire, nice thin copper wire. I've actually prepared some soil mixture, which is akadama, pumice and a small amount of alpine grit. I'm going to put some into the base, as you can see. Then I'm going to place the air layer. So I've got my wires here, as you can see. I've placed my air layer in. At this stage, I'm not interested in design or angle or position. What I'm interested in is creating a lot more roots. So I'm going to push this down slightly, and I'm going to bring these wires over the top. If I can find my scissors, I'm just going to cut these things a bit short because they are very, very vicious. So bear with me. Just lift this up slightly for you. There we go. So what I'm doing is I'm fixing this into the pot. I will tighten this up later. Okay, so there you can see sitting nicely in the middle there. Giving this a good root run, very important. And also lots of air, because it's a very, very open soil mixture. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fill it up all the way around. So I said, if you are asking questions, I'm terribly sorry. I don't have a camera person to help me today. So I will answer your questions when the film is finished. You'll notice I've not tightened the copper wires yet. The reason being is I want this to be nicely firm in the pot before I actually tighten those wires. This is going to make a super little tree. So here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the tree firmly there, pull upwards and tighten. I'm not too concerned about the wire digging in at this stage. This is a very old tree, and it will not. These branches will not thicken very quickly. The growth will really go towards the ends of the new growth. So this is. I could have put some rubber on there just to make sure that it doesn't cut in, but between you and me, it's not that important at this stage. So I'm just going to give this a tag. So there we go. It might even make a very nice small raft, I think. But it'll have a very nice small root base to it. And that's a lovely little hawthorn. So, thank you for watching.